Hello, Targar friends. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for another Orc Mode workout, and today was Dynamic Effort Squat and Deadlift Day. But just a quick reminder, you guys did not keep yesterday's workout likes higher than the dislikes. Come on guys, reach down there and just click like. Thousands of you watch it, it's not that hard. Click the like button, help a brother out. And then I'll go on and tell you guys how to get glutes for the sloots and quads for the broads, because that's what today is about. Quads and glutes. Today was very, very taxing. I am in air-conditioned condo here. AC cranked all the way up. Fan on. And yet I am cracking a sweat halfway through each one of these. Like you guys will see me dripping sweat. And this goes to show you guys, when I talk about dynamic effort work being conditioning, everyone who does this type of training says this. People don't grasp it. You have to be in shape to do this. There's a reason I did all that GPP last year. I had to be able to do the speed work. I had to get all my conditioning up. The speed work helps maintain that conditioning though. It will get you in shape pretty quick. And it's because of the short breaks with the compensatory acceleration. And sometimes people will look at this and be like, well, you're using lightweight. That's right, I'm using 50% of my maxes. Right, we're using 50% of my safety bar 11-inch box squat max, because we tested that. Yes, it's 100 pounds less than my normal squat. It's 445, right? That's all I could do off this box with this bar, and that's what we're using for speed work. So we're running 50% of that, with 25% of it is band tension. Well, I've got 115 pounds of band tension at the top, and people who haven't done band work, let me tell you, doing this for speed is hard. It's very, very hard. And again, you might look at that and go, that's only 220 on the bar. That's what I have on the bar, 220. Plus 115 pounds of band tension. Some of you guys out there, if your max squat is 350, and you were to get under this right now on this 11-inch box, and you have a parallel squat at 350, I promise you, you won't be able to do a double on this. You probably won't be able to lock it out. And we're doing this for speed. Keep that in mind. I can do this lift with double this amount of weight that's on the bar for a max. I did it on camera a couple weeks ago. You guys have seen it. But deep box, this box is 3 inches below parallel. Deep box, safety bar against heavy bands. All right, this is challenging, especially with the short breaks, especially as exploding as hard as we can. Because if you guys notice, hopefully, I am exploding as hard as I can. I'm also working on getting that stance out super wide. I probably need to be able to back squat with a stance close to that wide. So we're going to build it off the box work, right? That's why we're doing the sumo. That's why we're doing all this. And again, also to build the back up. So that squat stance you see there, ideally, I probably need to be able to do that with a max squat. That's how I'm going to get my squat up to 600, right? My quads and stuff are probably big enough already. The 550 that I hit back in January, it was a high bar with shoulder width stance. So again, we just have to get the hips and glutes and everything more involved, build everything up, build the speed, build the power. I have to build my upper back up to stay more upright, which is why we're using the safety bar. And the beauty of using the safety bar for this is that it lets me build the T-spine and not put wear and tear on my shoulders, because I'm trying to do a bit more bench specialization right now. I need to keep my shoulders as healthy as possible, and I'm removing everything that puts stress on the shoulders so that I can tinker with some wide grip benching and other stuff too. Right? We're avoiding anything that's going to irritate them. The only delt work I'm going to do is just tons and tons of face pulls. And all the people out there agree that that builds a side delt. Even Dr. Mike Israetel said it. Got several PhDs in the field said, yep, it does seem to actually be a pretty good side delt exercise. So I'm doing tons of that on my off days. That's all the delt work I'm going to do outside of my normal pulling and pushing. I don't want to put wear and tear on my shoulders. I need to keep them healthy so I can stay strong up here in my 40s, get my bench up. And this helps too. Doing this lets me, number one, work on my upper back, which needs the extra work. And people will say, what do you mean your upper back is big? My upper back is big. My upper back is not 600 squat, 700 deadlift big. Okay? And I need that upper back to get my bench up. It'll help with bench stability. So that's what we have to do. But notice at this point how much I'm sweating. It's 70 degrees in this building. And I have fans running. Dynamic work's hard. And again, once people do it, they understand. But yeah, that explosiveness against the band tension and everything, it's tough. It's work. It'll make you break a sweat even doing doubles. Even doing doubles in cool air. Another reason I don't wear a lot of clothes when I do this, I don't want the extra laundry. You know, people do that like, oh, well, you're uncomfortable. Well, number one, I'm not ashamed or shy of my loose skin. I'm not ashamed of my body fat. I don't care. I'm secure with that stuff. The guys, most of these guys in the industry are very insecure, and it's very obvious. Most of their followers are very insecure. It's also very obvious. It's practical. I don't have to worry about sweating and slipping on stuff either because my shirt's all soaked with sweat. I can towel myself off and lay down on a bench. Okay? I have to do less laundry. I'd be doing an extra load of laundry every single week because my workout clothes would be all sweaty. All right, I only have to have these 4 pairs of shorts. Actually, I've got more ordered. So I have 4 pairs of these workout shorts like this. And I have some other sizes too, but this particular normal size, I have 4 of them. All right, lets me only have to worry about those for laundry. Saves me a lot of trouble. And you guys can see with some of the sweating as to how that could be an issue. You know, I'd be like this every workout, drenching clothes, and you'd have to go through several shirts. Like, how are you going to do the long workouts that I do with a drenched shirt? You're going to have to change shirts every workout, multiple times. All right, just like you do at a powerlifting meet. You all take at least 3 shirts to a powerlifting meet, right? Right? Exactly. You understand. Speed pulls, the same thing. Now, these I ended up running more band tension. I had mismeasured with this angle. I thought I had about 120 on there. I will have 135. And as silly as that sounds, it may not seem like much, but it makes a lot of difference. Like, these were tough. These lockouts were tough, but speed pulls are always tough on the lockout. They're a good test of grip, and because it pulls you so hard on the way down, I'm having to control the eccentrics against those bands. My quads and my upper back were devastated from this. Like, I didn't even do good mornings because my whole T-spine was so lit up after doing the safety bar and then doing these that I realized that I didn't need the good mornings today. This was a ton of work because I did 12 doubles of each of these. 12 doubles of each. It's 24 sets. My thoracic spine felt just as worked as if I had done good mornings. So I focused on rows and reverse hypers. I'll do good mornings again on max effort day because I need to do them every week. But today with this higher volume, my highest volume week of this wave, especially getting used to the band tension again. I haven't done any speed work with bands in months. Since what, maybe October? It's tough. And I'm going to follow it out for the 3-week wave and then go back to chains and back to bands again. But these speed pulls against the bands were so tough. Again, my quad, my adductor, my thoracic spine, all of that was just so lit. And the upper back, really, because of the eccentrics. They jerk on you so hard on the way back down, especially with 12 doubles. That ends up being 24 reps. So that, you could just feel the eccentric just jerking on that area. So again, that's going to cause a nice hypertrophic response. But interestingly enough, this really lit my quads up more than even the squatting did. And that's another thing, you know, since I'm doing the deep box squats, we know we're getting good quad activation. We're doing sumo speed pulls now. This is a lot of quad work. This handles my quad hypertrophy. That's why I'm not doing any extra at the moment. I'm going to focus on posterior chain and back to get my squat and deadlift up. I'm not worried about quad work because, number one, my quads are probably big enough already to do what I need to do, and they're going to grow from this. Right? These speed days are going to cause quad hypertrophy because I feel them. I feel my entire thigh, especially even the VMO and then the whole groin area. All of that gets hit on these sumo pulls super hard, in addition to my whole upper back. Plus it's good grip training. But notice again the sweating at that point. This stuff is hard work. One reason it works so well. It's the reason this works for athletes so well. How many fantastic athletes run conjugate templates with DE work? Tons of them. A lot of coaches prescribe it. I prescribe it for my clients. Prescribe it for my clients. So again, it's great stuff, and it will get you in shape. It will make you athletic. It'll help, because we need to be more athletic. We need to be more fit. Part of strength. Part of strength. You know, a lot of people have this idea that a lot of strength athletes and powerlifters aren't conditioned. Well, some of the training does make you conditioned, and you need to be conditioned. How are you going to do enough work? If you don't have conditioning, how are you going to get the work density you need? All right, stuff like this, phenomenal work density. So it'll make you strong, it'll make you thick, and it'll make you explosive. And again, the bands are the big part of it, because that's the beauty of it. When you're going against the heavy band tension or the heavy change, but particularly the bands, they decelerate you. So you have to gain speed to hit those bands and lock them hard and fast without grinding, because they change your deceleration curve. They make it harder. So again, they'll slow you down, forces you to try to push through faster. Then I did my 5 sets of rows. I only did 5 sets of these today. That's enough. Plenty. 5x10's a lot, especially considering yesterday I did inverted rows. Good test of my grip. But again, I feel like this is enough. It's enough. We're averaging 20 sets of rows a week between the 2 types in the 4 days. And this one's a little more lat specific. It still hits the rear delts and upper back, just not as much as my inverted rows. This one is more specific to helping my deadlifting than my benching, right? Because we need more upper back for the bench. But again, this helps us stay tight on the deadlift, helps us learn to explode off the floor, maintains isometric strength in the posterior chain. So one of the things, I've had people ask me that, what's the difference between the inverted row and the pendlay? Can one replace the other? It's like, no. The inverted row, the way I do it, at least uses more upper back. This uses a little more lat. They both use both. I don't want people to think that it's taking either one out. It's just slightly more emphasis. The inverted row trains nothing in the posterior chain. This forces you to keep your posterior chain isometrically contracted, like you have to do setting up the pole on a deadlift. Okay, see where we're going with that? Now in this case also, I use the axle bar, and this is challenging. When I go to a heavier weight like this for 190, I have to re-grip it. And a lot of people who might say, well, that's not a lot of weight. I bet you with an axle bar, a lot of you can't do this strictly. You can't do strictly 190 for reps. A lot of you can. I have people out there following me who are stronger than me. The vast majority are not. It's harder than you think it is. Film yourself and watch how much you cheat, and watch how much you struggle with a thick grip like that. For me, these are limit sets pretty much. And I mean, I'll continue to get stronger at this lift. I had to build this up to this point with the axle bar, but it still gives me great back activation while being a fantastic grip exercise. So using the axle bar for this is kind of a mainstay for me. And if I need higher grip specialization, if the upper back gets caught up, I'll do these 4 days a week again. Right now, twice is enough, and I can do them on my squat and deadlift days, and stick to the inverted rows on the other, which are a little less grip training, probably a little easier to recover from. But again, they serve their own purpose. But yeah, as you guys can see, as I get further into this, I'm getting pretty fatigued with the last set. So I didn't really have another set in me today. The speed pulls really took a lot out of me. They were challenging for my back, especially the upper back. But that's what we want. We want them to be fatiguing. And then we had the reverse hypers. I feel like almost today like I should have increased weight, because I've been struggling the last week with this weight. But today it felt good till I got to the last set. The last set was really hard. But after I did the first set or two, I'm like, I should have went 10 pounds heavier. So we'll see how we feel on max effort day next time. And if we can go up 10, we'll go up 10. I'll have to rearrange the plates, so I really can't fit a 5 on each side with those. I'm going to need to rearrange plates, maybe put some of my thinner blue calibrated plates on, which will probably work. I think that'll do what I needed to do. Throw one of those on and a 25 instead of the 55 and the 10. And I think that'll be about right. But I can't fit another plate on there. That's all I got. But these felt really good today until the last set. The last set was really hard. My low back was cramping afterwards. I was just struggling with it. And I'm sitting here hating Clint right now for telling me I need to get to 425 on this. It's like, are you serious, brother? It's like, yeah, that's what you got to do. House of biceps. I love you, Clint, but I'm hating you at this moment. But, yeah, so that's still the goal. I need to get to 425 for sets of 25 on this. We're up to 350. And like I said, the last couple workouts, it was brutal. Today, it felt okay for the first two sets, and that third set around rep 15 starts really kicking in. And, I've had people ask, oh, why are you swinging like that? Is that the way to do it? People tell you to try to hold it at the top. It's like, who tells you that? I don't know any strength coaches who squat 800 pounds and use this device who are telling you to do that. So I would seriously ask, who's telling you to squeeze these at the top and not use the momentum? Who are they and who are they training? How many 7, 8, 900 pound squatters do they coach? And then look at the guys who tell you to swing it this way, who coach 7, 800, and 900 pound squatters and deadlifters. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know who's telling you to do that. I don't know. Maybe it is someone great. Louis Simmons teaches you to do it this way. He owns the patent for this device. He's the inventor of it. He coaches his lifters on it. He has the strongest gym in the entire world. And this is his brainchild. And it works phenomenally well. That inertia creates a traction and an eccentric effect on your low back and your hamstrings that is phenomenal. I feel things doing this movement that I have never felt on anything else I've ever done. Okay, so not only do we have the therapeutic effect of that traction, and you almost need that swing to create the traction on the back to pull those discs apart, you won't feel that the same if you don't get the swing. All right, this device is rated to hold 700 pounds. You think anyone out there in the world is going to do 500 pounds with this and pause at the top? Let alone 6 or 7. These devices are designed to handle heavy weight for a reason. They're intended to be used this way. But the eccentric effect it creates when it pulls you back down that weight with a heavy weight is really ludicrous. I would honestly say up until this point, I have never felt a pump in my glutes, and I've never felt DOMs in my glutes until I started going heavy on this device. You guys have seen how much weight I do for high reps on hip thrusts and glute bridges. Like, it's to a lot of people have said that, oh, wow, that's ridiculous. I don't know anyone who does that much weight on those lifts. All right, at least for high reps. And yet I don't ever feel anything in my glutes. I actually get a glute pump in this, and the first time I did 330 on it for 25 reps, I had DOMs in my glutes for the first time in my entire life the next day. Okay, this causes an effect I'm not used to in my low back. It feels like I've done a max deadlift to failure, or failed a max deadlift in my low back when I do it, just that whole fatigue it creates. And then it makes my hamstrings cramp sometimes. Right? It does a lot. It does a lot. And then we'll finish off with 4 sets of curls. You guys can still see where I'm at in terms of body fat as I'm cutting. Transparency. I actually had someone say, are you going to weigh in every morning? First off, I don't want to put clothes on first thing in the morning for you to watch me weigh in. You can go screw yourself. I'm not awake enough to get dressed when I weigh in. I pee and step on the scale. Number 2, you have enough accountability. I'm the only person who shows all their training. I've done multiple DEXA scans. Okay, you can watch me lose the body fat. I'm shirtless and run around in tiny little running shorts. You have all the accountability you need. Ridiculous. As I lose body fat, it will become very, very obvious that I'm losing it. You won't be able to miss the fat disappearing off my body. Trust me. It'll be plainly visible. So, accountability. I train shirtless with calibrated plates. So back over to the curls. Again, the hammer curls, I think they're helping all my rowing strength. Because again, biceps could be a weak link, brachialis, all of that. Plus, it gives me a good forearm pump and a good bicep pump. And I need to bring all that up. Let's kind of come back over to the point. My whole arm needs to grow. I need to thicken all of that, not just the bicep. I'm doing a lot of tricep specialization right now. My arms in general need more work. Hammer curl is going to have the best potential carryover to my bench press in terms of putting meat on to give me cushion and stability at the bottom. It's going to be my best carryover for improving rowing performance. We don't ever think in terms of, hey, a single muscle. We think in terms of single muscle and making it carry over to my other stuff. We want to always kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But good workout. It was fatiguing. Got a lot of good work done. Really happy with it. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.